Guru Arjan was the fifth Guru, a martyr who was known for contributing and compiling the Sikh scriptures and his teaching that Sikhism is open to all, regardless of caste. I talked with Bugsy Singh about the life and significance of Guru Arjan. We're honored to welcome Bugsy Singh to Kaleidoscope and to
Thank you, Stan.
learn about Guru Arjan and about Sikhism. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Let's start out with a little bit about you. You were actually born and raised in Western New York.
No, actually, I was born in a little hick town in Pennsylvania, coal country, and my parents moved here when I was 3.
3.
Yeah, and then
Waynesburg,
yeah,
Pennsylvania.
Waynesburg, Pennsylvania.
Where your dad taught at that point.
Yeah, and the football stadium is actually named after my godfather. So, and we moved here when I was 3. I moved away when I was 18 to go to college, and returned in 1998, and I've been here ever since.
Well, as a Sikh, you know, and I won't go back to the period when your parents were in Pennsylvania, which was another story, but
Yeah.
what does it mean to be a Sikh?
In a literal sense, it is in 3 simple words: pray, be kind, and help others. Okay, and there's actually there are actually 3 words for that. Let's see if I can remember: Nam Japna, Kartikana, and I can't remember the third. But that is the essence, that you're supposed to pray, remember God, work hard, and be kind to people, and share your blessings with others.
Now, is it a requirement for Sikhs to go to the temple on a regular basis?
It's not required. It's supposed to be the religion of the householder. So I myself, for instance, do most of my religious duties at home. You know, I do prayers, and nowadays it's very good because you can download, you know, the daily prayer, you know, and that helps me also learn Punjabi.
But there are 3 Sikh gurdwaras here in Western New York.
Yeah. There's one in Niagara Falls. There's one on Main Street in Williamsville, and there's one on, I think it's Clarence Center Road in Clarence.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Well, let me expand that as well to ask you, what is it like to be a Sikh in America at this time?
It's always been a little difficult because when you're young, you know, I had long hair, and so you know, there was a lot of bullying when I was young. But then again, Guru Gobind Singh told us we were going to have long hair so we could stand out and couldn't hide who we were. So that I figured was part of the deal. And with, you know, especially in the post 9/11 world, with people having, in many cases, anti-Muslim attitudes, and I unfortunately look a lot like people normally associated with the, you know, the highest of the worst of them. You know, people do occasionally take out those problems on Sikhs, which is kind of ironic since we're talking about Guru Arjan, because Sikhs in many ways have a greater reason to be anti-Muslim than virtually anybody else, given starting with how Guru Arjan was treated, and through the many problems that Sikhs had during the Mughal Empire in India.
Well, you mentioned Arjan.
Yeah.
Who was Guru Arjan?
Guru Arjan was the 5th Guru of the Sikhs. He followed his father, Guru Ramdas, and his wife was actually Guru Amar Das, is the 3rd Guru's daughter, and he was the end of the more pacifistic era of Sikhism, where Sikhism was really, and still is primarily, about love, sharing, devotion to the Guru and to God, and and about doing things for yourself and for others, and to make the world better.
Well, one of the things that he accomplished was the building of the temple, the Golden Temple. Can you
Yes.
talk a little bit about that, because there's really a lot of teachings.
Yeah, it's actually it has a long history. First, there's a pool that it's in that is around it that was dug by his father, or it was started by his father, and was called a pool of nectar. And then the goal was to build a temple there. And the Sikhs first wanted it to be the highest temple in the city, as it's the highest, the highest temple and the highest location of Sikhism. And the Guru felt that it should be lower than everything, because you're supposed to display humility before God. And so it is the lowest point of the city as opposed to the highest.
So, in effect, grounded in humility.
Yes, grounded in humility, and that the hope is it would bear because it was low to the ground, it would bear fruit that people could take from God's tree more easily, and that the water would run down to it and continue to nourish it. When it was built, unlike many temples in the area, which were open in one direction, if I remember properly, mosques open to the west, and Hindu temples open to the east, and then there's some limitations on who can go into it. The Guru said that no, that we will have entrances in all directions to say we will welcome everyone, and that there will be no restrictions on who can come in. So people that just want to participate in the prayers can come in, and then also by making it open in north, south, and east and west directions, he also symbolically said all 4 castes of Hindus can come in by any door, and they will not be distinguished between, there will not be a specific door for one caste or anything.
So that was very key.
Yes.
Of the teaching of Sikhs, open to all.
Open to
who come.
all. Indeed, the cornerstone of the Golden Temple was actually laid by a Muslim saint who was a descendant of the Caliph Omar, whom, if I remember properly, was the second caliph of after Muhammad and his second follower. He's apparently one of the oldest people alive at the time who was an actual direct follower of Muhammad.
So it was the Guru invited the Muslim
Yes.
saint to come and put the cornerstone in.
Yes.
Fascinating. There was also the compilation of the Sikh scriptures.
Yes, the Guru Granth Sahib was, what had happened is that the teachings of the previous gurus were sometimes misstated, misremembered, sometimes deliberately altered, or some people presented false teachings. And so the Guru said, we're going to have an authentic, absolutely correct document of what they said. And so he took in he got all the original manuscripts, compiled them, and added his own writings. And then he actually left blank pages in the original Granth Sahib,
Really?
so that they could be added. Yes, so they could be added to by later gurus. And Guru Gobind Singh eventually added those of the 9th Guru at the end. The original, actually compiled by Guru Amar Das, is in Kartarpur, in Pakistan, near the Indian border, and the one that Guru Gobind Singh compiled at the end is at the Harimandir Sahib itself, at the highest point of the temple in Amritsar. And as a matter of fact, you can still read the original parchment. They're handwritten. And they're also climate controlled, because it can get to be 105 degrees easily in the summer over there.
Yeah, it's been a number of years. We're going back to 1581.
Yeah, 1580, 1581. So
Now, you told me earlier the story about going into the temple,
yeah.
of washing twice,
Yes.
on the outside and
Yeah,
the inside.
there's a small pool on the outside, and the idea is that you're supposed to clean yourself off so that you're presentable to God. And then when you go inside, you're supposed to clean your mind. And the idea is that outside you're presentable to the human world and the secular world, and when you go inside, you're supposed to clean yourself so that you're presentable for the next world. And so that's the idea of the two pools, and that you're supposed to bathe in both.
Now, Guru Arjan was martyred.
Yes. Yeah, this was at the after Emperor Akbar died, his son usurped the throne from his grandson, who was actually the usurper's son. The Emperor Jahangir was told by a Hindu tax collector that there were parts of the Granth Sahib that were blasphemous to Hindus and Sikhs. Other people within the clergy didn't like that the Guru was getting so many followers, and so when the Guru would not excise the parts that Jahangir thought were unacceptable, he was taken to the tax collector and was tortured for 5 days, and then at that point he asked to go out to the River Ravi to bathe, and he submerged and was carried away in the current.
So he was the first of two martyred gurus.
Yes. The second one was Guru Tegh Bahadur, who was the ninth Guru.
I want to loop back just a moment and ask you again about the turban you wear.
Yeah, the idea of the turban and the fact that I have long hair, I've never cut it and I've never shaved, is so that I can stand out as a Sikh. I cannot hide who I am, and that makes sometimes my life harder. On the other hand, people who are very successful in business who ask me why I kept it, I said I kept it because it was it was what I thought was right, and it's kind of nice that they actually envy me, even though they're far more successful than I am fiscally. They envy my strength to have kept it all these years.
Well, Bakshi Singh, I thank you very much for being with us and sharing about Arjan.
Yep, thank you very much, Stan.
And to talk about Sikhism and your own experience.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you for being here.